feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Welcome to another episode of Live with Colby Psychic Rebel. And I'll tell you what, tonight I pulled out all the stops. I mean, this is going to be a super duper fun packed night. I have one of my personal favorite teachers, mentors, amazing, incredible, world-renowned psychic mediums who agreed to join us this evening. And I feel so blessed and so honored. He is a British psychic medium. He's an author, a television personality. He's super funny. He has everything under the stars and more. And he has had 3 television series, The Psychic Detective, Street Detective, Psychic School. He teaches around the world, tours around the world, has written books. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to end. But let's just start with the introduction of Tony Stockwell. Hi, Tony. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You okay?
I am doing great. And, you know, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a little late there in the UK, and I really do appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank you for inviting me on. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you've had such a busy last few weeks. You've been on tour there in the UK, is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty much always on tour. I think it's the longest tour in the world. It started when I was 33, this tour. 48, so it's a very long tour. It's continuous, but yeah.
Oh, wow. And so now, do you just kind of do you ever take breaks in between or anything like that, or not really?
No, I don't do. I'm very lucky. I think in the UK I do like 70 theatres a year.
Oh, wow.
And it's generally the same sort of towns that we go in. So the people in the UK know where I'm going to be at least once a year. And then, of course, I'm teaching, I'm traveling. But we're very lucky. We've got a nice little holiday home in Spain, which is easy for British people to get to. So Spain sounds very glamorous, but you know, it's not far on a plane. And so we get to take the children and spend some time every couple of months, go off for a week or 2.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. And most people know you've got 2 children, right?
Yeah, 2 children. I've got Marnie, she's 5.5, and Finn, who's 3.5.
Have you noticed any gifts in them yet?
No. Tendency to argue over the last few days, but no, they're very kind children, and they're good kids, and they're thoughtful. And Marnie, my little girl, she writes me love notes and tells me how special I am. And you know, for me, I don't need the children to be psychic or mediumistic. I want them to be great humanitarians.
Yeah.
And if they then decided there was another side to the nature to develop, I'd certainly help them. But just at the moment, they're just regular kids with a good nature.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And do you plan on having any more?
Oh my God, we're too old. No, we were late having the children, as you can appreciate, and we always wanted to be fathers. So of course, I've got a husband, and so we wanted to be fathers for always. And it's only, you know, tolerance and change of opinion, and certainly in the UK anyway. We now know plenty of same-sex parents that are either adopting or having children. So we're part of a new swathe of parents, but
yeah,
and we're having a great time doing it.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's great. I used to, you know, before I entered this work, I was a tax accountant, as most people know. And so I was in tax when the government was passing same-sex marriage, all the laws, and so and I worked for a firm that was all same-sex. So it's a huge personal thing for me that everybody is like, you know, equal rights and fun and having families. I think it's fabulous.
I think that massively, and I think not just that. You know, somebody said to me the other day, "What are you intolerant to?" And I said, "Of course, intolerance." And I think that there is, in this day and age, especially as we're talking to and about spiritual things and spiritual people, that we do have a responsibility to stamp out any kind of prejudice, whether that be color-based or sexual orientation, disability. It's huge. I think it's part of our spiritual awakening to not withstand intolerance and speak up against it wherever it exists.
So do you find yourself in situations where you do speak up publicly, or in a personal situation publicly where you speak up?
I speak a lot. Yeah, I do. I was speaking to a group tonight. I was taking a group at my own center, but a colleague of mine on vacation. So I took a group, and there was maybe 20 people in a group, and it wasn't their fault. But I said, I only see white faces in this group, because in my group, I liked a very eclectic group of people. They said, it's not our fault. And I said, I forgive you. But it does worry me seriously that some of the work that we do as spiritual mediums and psychics, etc., it appeals to people that almost resonate with us. Is absolutely fine. But I wonder how many people feel excluded from it.
Yeah.
In London, her name's Sonia Thomas, and she's a black girl, Rastafarian, and my friend went to demonstrate for her at her home with 30 people attending, and I said, who attended? And she said, you know the strangest thing? She said, it was 30 black people in the demonstration, and I just thought, there you go. They obviously feel they can resonate, and it's committed, and they've got something in common with Sonia, a lady of color. And I think that it worries me a little bit. We just need, again, with all things, to broaden and allow people to come in and say, look, this is for everybody.
Yes.
No matter where you come from, what kind of money you have or don't have, and from all other kind of previous religious belief systems. I don't know, I've got a thing at the moment where I wonder whether we're doing it kind of right. We should be more expansive.
Right. Yeah, it is, and maybe that's the progression of the future, is that we do just stop. Maybe it's not all in spiritual bookstores that we're demonstrating.
We need to be out there, and you're right. I did a show years ago. I was in my early 30s, and one of my previous shows was called Street Psychic.
Oh, yes.
Street and psychic, you're working it out for yourself. So I was offered this show, and they said, we've got a format, would you like to do it? And I said, well, I'll try. And they took me to random high streets and malls, shopping malls, and said, we'll follow you with a camera crew and go up to random strangers and say, I'm a psychic, can I read for you? And that was very much just getting out there with people that honestly thought you were crazy, or they were deeply religious, so they'd be offended. But that was a great show, because it just took psychic out for normal people that wouldn't necessarily seek us out.
Yes.
So that was great. And we did a show actually in San Francisco, and it was televised here. But that was an interesting show, certainly.
Yeah, and that's the idea is, right. I love how, you definitely were, a pioneering in doing the street psychic. That must have been scary, right? Like, because you had a way of working, and then now they're saying, go out and just talk to everyday people. And you must have been like, oh.
Well, it was scary for lots of different reasons, but I've been doing this since I was very young, so I was 16, and demonstrating in spiritualist churches and that kind of thing since I was 19. And so up until that time, my only real understanding of the work was evidential mediumship. And so, my old tutors were very strong on the evidence. Where's the evidence? And so that's how we were trained. And suddenly I was out there working psychically with no spirit communication. And I think I found that most challenging, not because I couldn't do it, but just I felt like I was being dirty. I felt like I was doing something wrong, but not in mediumship constantly. But that was a great thing for me, because it broadened my awareness that not everybody needs communion constantly.
Yes.
There's people need guidance, all sorts of things. And that's a beautiful thing to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes too, it's just that clarity that we can offer, that in that soul to soul connection, right? That
beautiful thing. Clarity is exactly right. You take people to a space of clarity, where they can then hopefully make their own decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And, so we talked about you touring and doing all that. And I did mention at the beginning of the hour that you tour around the world teaching. So I do want to bring up that you are coming to my hometown, Los Angeles. So, you're going to do a workshop with one of my absolute all-time favorite mediums and friend, Fleur. So you guys are coming. So it's June 25th and it goes through June 29th. So what is that? 5 days, right? It's a 5-day intensive course called the Modern Medium. Tell us about it.
Well, the modern medium, so we've really split it into 5 days, of course, as the duration of the course, but each day we'll be looking at a different subject. So there'll be a day that focuses on the how to bring and offer the evidence that spirit is around us, and then move beyond that into what do they want to say, and trying to tap into or attune our minds to the intelligent flow of communication. There's be a day on the pure psychic, so that's the day we give the spirit world off, and we work intuitively to know things, and I'm going to bring in some psychic detection into that too, which is something that I do on the quiet here for certain cases. But there's also a day on trance healing where we allow spirit to come so close to us that we feel we're sharing the space. And it will be for those spirit beings that have an interest in fixing, helping, aligning both physical, mental, emotional bodies of us that in this world. And the other 2 dates, you'll have to forgive me. There's a 5-day course. Every day is a different subject, and it's going to be very eclectic. And we'll have some fun, and we'll maybe do some demonstrating in that time too. But yeah, I just think the gifts of the spirit are vast, and to give us an opportunity to maybe tackle new things, interesting things will be exciting.
Do you have a favorite area? Because, you do, like you said, you do trance, you do detective work, you help on cases, the medium, you'll read for anybody, the everyday mom, right? So do you have a favorite? Like, is there something that just makes your heart go pitter-patter more than anything else?
I think it is the variety that obviously is the thing that I love. But I suppose truly any connection I can make where it feels real. So it doesn't matter if I'm demonstrating that or it's a one-to-one. And tiny example, there'll be always lots of examples, but I was saying I did 2 contacts yesterday morning, I think, first thing. One, I honestly thought, well, this is not the worst reading I've ever done, then I should honestly reconsider my position here. It was just really hard work. So I was dull and I was glum and I kept thinking, my God, what is this about? 10 minutes later, this other lady comes in. She traveled 7 hours to come find me, come see me. And she sat down, her son came straight through. And detail after detail after detail. And so the reason I just bring that up quite simply is for anybody out there that does this kind of work, we're going to have good days, bad days, great readings, and oh my God, I want to remember again. And there's so much of that. It's nothing to do with us. It's very much dependent on the will of, the openness of the recipient, i.e. the person that's receiving the contact. But what do I love the most? When it's right.
Yeah.
When I can feel the spirit person's personality, the recipients, looking, I'm as amazed. But there are some readings that are just so wonderfully fabulous and real. And you truly feel you've been the middle part as the medium, and you've stood or sat between those two worlds, and you've offered detail, and it feels so wonderfully real. And it's a constant reminder of the work that we do as sensitive mediums, that it's real, and that's the only word I can think of, and it's valid, and it creates blessings in this world.
What do you do when you get tired? Do you get tired, or are you just like super psychic human medium?
Well, I like that.
Because some of us get tired. So we want to know, what do you recommend when we get tired?
I don't know what to recommend. I don't think I've just got it right at all. But I do definitely get tired, and it's not like having a normal job. You know, it's not. You know, I could do 4 clients in the morning and a demonstration at night, and I'm tired. There's no question. But I think it takes a lot from you mentally, that degree of concentration. And if we do it well enough, we're so out there with the people that come to seek us out, and wanted it to be real, and wanted it to be right, and wanted it to be meaningful for them. That there's an intensity to it. So I try to close my eyes whenever I can. So
yeah,
easy, but you know, just be in the car, going to the demonstration, you get there 10 minutes before, just to zone out. And this is probably the more interesting, is to I try to visualize my own incarnate spirit rising to meet the challenge. And then that defies all sorts of emotional, physical tiredness. And you start then to respond to the power of your own spirit.
Right.
So I'm far more interested these days about how we function as we do, as mediums and psychics, etc., and how much of our higher self or the incarnate self is at play. And really, I think the way forward is to work in any way we can through meditation, contemplation, to allow our own spirit to manifest more fully. And truly, when we're in that, then we're in our power. When we're in our power, then we're in sync with the others that come to guide us. And then we can collapse when we finish that work. But yeah, I do get tired, no question. But you're trying to get as much rest as I can is the way forward.
Yeah, it's incredible though, the work that you do, because you know, first of all, the demonstrations and the teaching, it's endless, and you know, you can tell that you're passionate and committed, but you also put out resources for people to either tap into their own gifts or to help them. So one of the latest things you did are the CDs, the Path to Trance Mediumship. What inspired that? And tell us a little bit about that for the listeners.
Of course. Well, I've got, you know, a number of CDs out there. The reason I did them, because people don't always have access to us individually, and you know, maybe people live in spaces where they can't develop. There's no groups around them. So I just thought it'd be a neat idea to be able to, put something together where people could practice at home. But trance is one of those things that it's not easily demonstrated or easily taught, and it's very difficult to find people who have a good experience of trance with someone who knows how. So I put the trance CD together so people then could have access to it in their own homes. But it's had really good results. And it's not one of those CDs you listen to it once and think, what else can I do next? People have listened to it every day, you know, for the duration. And over a period of a year or so, they've really started to get somewhere with it. So people that don't understand trance as such, it's really entering the altered state of consciousness to allow those in the other world, individuals in the other world, to come merge with us so completely that we feel we're sharing a space. And then with time, we try then to surrender more fully, that we allow that spirit being precedence over our mind, and then we try to lean back in our consciousness that their words are heard, their actions are conveyed, their healing is offered. Transfiguration may easily be as a consequence of that, but they're able to show their face over the features of the medium. So that's quite a specific thing, trance, not for everyone, but those that have got it have had great results. I also have one out called Healing the Wounded Soul, which should be very well. And there's lots of different exercises, heighten your spiritual awareness, journey to the spirit world. Now, journey to the spirit world, if I don't know what to say, is a wonderful one, only because people that seek us out and we then tell them that father is there and mother is by the side. But when they go home, they just wait them for the next 6 months for that connection. But say something like Journey to the Spirit World, it empowers normal people that they can literally go into this guided meditation and still have their own daily connection with their mum and their dad and anybody else they've loved that have gone before them. So I love that, because these people that may listen to that particular CD may not necessarily want to be mediums as such.
Right.
Their own medium, for
self. That's actually really perfect, because one of the viewers, she posted a question. She lost her daughter at a pretty young age. And she said, how do I sit and get messages from my daughter in spirit? How can I increase my hearing or seeing or feeling? And so again, this guided meditation sounds perfect to kind of help her on that journey.
It sounds like a massive plug, but the CD aside, something like that would be wonderful. But there can be nothing worse than losing a child. It must be the most horrific thing in the world. So I really feel for that lady. And the thing for her to remember, as with anyone listening in the same predicament, is our children still love us, and they would know we love them. And their connection to us is going to be stronger with the parent than it is with any medium we go to. So it's really an invitation for the parent to work in a way that they build their sensitivity to feel spirit close to themselves. But one of the neatest ways is to ask that their children may come and walk with them in their dreams.
Oh.
I'm convinced that there's dreams. We have dreams. I think I once went to Mickey Mouse in a dream. Do you know what I mean? It was that kind of a dream. But I've also spoken to my aunt just after she passed, and I can tell you now, her face was next to mine. We're talking intently. I'm cuddling her. I can smell her. And then she said, I've got to go. And I woke up with such a start. But it wasn't a dream. It was my spirit and her spirit's communing whilst I was in the sleep state. And so, excuse me, I think that our loved ones will journey close to us whilst we're in the sleep state. But those people that have had this experience whilst being asleep, they will absolutely know what I'm saying. It's beyond any kind of dream. Have you experienced something similar yourself?
Yeah, I always, when I try to explain it, I always feel like we remember all the details of the dream. Like it just, and even when we retell it, it's like we're living it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do feel like, and I never feel like they're negative, right? They're just filled with love and care.
Beautiful. Because there is no negativity when
I don't believe that either. But so now back to the trance, right? So with this trance, are you going to do a trance demonstration in LA? Because I've seen you do it a few times and it's incredible. Are you planning on doing one in LA?
Well, if people are interested for me to do one, I will put one on. It's not a problem.
I know people will love it. I know you have a demonstration with Fleur too. So you've got this 5-day intensive. And John will put up the flyer if he hasn't already, because he's amazing. That's our engineer. But you've got a demonstration with Fleur. That's June 25th, everyone. It's in Hollywood, California, and it's 7 to 9 p.m. our time. The tickets are available at mediumfleur.com. And that was fun. I saw you guys last year, and it's so much fun. I mean, the two of you together, it's just dynamic, and it's so fabulous. It's great. And
she's also she's a very good medium.
Oh my God, she's like incredible. She's so wise and incredible, and the gift. It is beautiful. I love watching her work. I've had her on the show as well a couple times. I'm always like, Fleur, busy?
On down. Yeah, she's one to watch, because she thinks outside of the box, and she's trying to constantly expand the work of the medium, certainly. But going back, people are interested in seeing me do a trance dem. I'd be very happy to do one. And of course, I think I saw you in LA when I was working with Lisa, I think. And and then I saw you in New Jersey. Yeah. And you facilitated for me. You held the space for me whilst I worked. Thank you again.
I did that. Thank you. It was such an honor. I mean, I swear it's going to be something I talk about till the day I die. It was really quite an honor.
There's an atmosphere. The thing I like about trance is when it's real, there's an atmosphere that permeates the room, and it's almost as though we've entered like a holy space.
Yes.
Sometimes, you know, it just feels very different, if nothing else. And again, if we're lucky, on some DEMs, you never can guarantee, but if the energy is right, sometimes there can be things you see, and something you sense, some things you smell, something that you hear. That it's just beyond the logic or mind, and it just feels so lovely. Because I think the other worlds are so desperate to come closer to us.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine though, like, look at it from their point of view. They're constantly trying to knock on the door. They're constantly trying to say, I'm here. And we put up these barriers and these requirements. Well, did you give me the blue jay I asked for? And what's my first, middle, and last name? And what's the last form of my social? Like, that's what the recipients set up sometimes without just letting us connect.
Absolutely right. And do you know, that's very true. And, you know, I do so many reasons. I'm sure, you know, we're all in the same boat. But a couple of reasons just come to mind. You know, I just catalogue this stuff. A young guy come to see me about a year ago, and he sat there, and I thought, define logic, what do you do? Because I really thought his mum was in the spirit, but he looked kind of young. And I just thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, what do you say? So I said, look, I feel strong your mother is here. You know, literally, this is my first opening statement. It's a big statement to make, because if it's wrong, you know, you spoil potentially what could be a wonderful connection. And rather than say yes or no to me, the guy simply said, are you asking me or are you telling me? Anything else? Didn't smile or allowed me to sort of laugh along with him. And I said, well, I think I'm telling you your mother's in the spirit. The whole reading went that way. The whole reading was so hard work that in the end, I became really very blunt. Well, she's 56 and she's passed with, and she's got, and eventually he kind of caved in. But I think if I would have been less experienced, I think I would have had to give up, because he had attitude. And to be fair, the reason I share this experience is because when I quizzed the guy after, because the reading was fine, and I quizzed the guy afterwards, and I said, you gave me a real hard time through that. And quite nicely he said, I'm really sorry. He said, but I just needed it to be true. In the end, you know, it's like he wasn't trying to be mean,
right?
Just defy logic.
Yeah, and I think too, especially when we start out, you know, at least I can remember the days I started, and someone was kind of that recipient. It was hard, and I felt like, oh, they're just being closed off. But as I kind of grew with experience, I started to realize, no, they want to believe more than anything. They're just. So what they're doing is they actually want to believe. They don't want to be closed off. I think just shifting that perception, yes. You know, we can get impatient because it's exhausting. It's tiring when they're like that. But sometimes they're the most, you know, you probably gave him the most incredible healing experience.
Well, you know, you only hope. But all that came to mind just the other day, and this is, I don't know where I waffle on, but when each of us go to sleep, every single person in the world, when each of us go to sleep, I truly believe our spirit has an experience. Mm-hmm. So every person, no matter whether we're born in Ethiopia, in Dallas, or in London, or the Ukraine, when we sleep as a human being, I think our spirit lifts and has something of an experience. So when somebody wakes up and they say, if they were having this conversation, I believe in nothing, I think it's all nonsense, and I think when you're died, you're just nothing. Then they go to sleep again, and then they have this experience. And it may well be that, you know, in that spiritual experience through dream space, or rather more through sleep space, others gather around them and say, oh, you know, it's a shame you don't believe more than you. Oh, well, of course, when I'm asleep, I must know it to be true. It's only when I wake up that I have this thought that there is nothing. There is such a sense of disconnect. So I think truly, if we're vibrant spirit people here and now having a physical experience, when we sleep, we know of that spiritual world. That as readers, all we truly do is remind people of that which they already know.
Right. Yeah.
Their heart self back to their head self. And that's what I've noticed more than anything now. People that come seek me out, especially with this emotional issue or there's the strife of life, etc. We're just trying to mend them. So we're allowing them to feel again their vibrant spirit and allow their conscious mind to relax in such a way they can start to feel into who they truly are. Because I think most people in the world are sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And part of our work as a spiritual workers, no matter whichever modality we work in, we're there to awaken the dormant spirit of humanity, that they might become more aware of who they truly are, and maybe some of the promises they may have made before they were born.
They can fulfill.
Yeah, exactly. Because we can't just be random. Is to think of everyone we've loved is now dwelling in the Summerland, and everyone will ever come before or after us, rather, already now dwelling in that Summerland. And it's just us for this very short window of opportunity to dwell in this physical space. So it's very important that those alive at this current time in this world recognize on some level or another that the journey is short, and yet the impact of this journey could be enormous. And it is just trying to remember, why am I here? What are my hope, aims, and objectives for this lifetime around?
Well, I just thought of something when you were saying that is, what if this lifetime, this physical life experience that we have, what if it's that guy, that recipient client? Well, are you telling me or are you showing me? What if this is, and we're supposed to kind of say, well, wait a second, and rise up and awaken from within.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all useful and it's all thought-provoking. And I think we're all chipping away at the outer edges of that which stops us truly knowing who we are and why we are here. And, we live in a Western world, and if we didn't, of course, we'd live elsewhere. But, being spiritual people, most of us at this point would have become something else. We know the hermit, the holy man, something else, the guru, the disciple. And yet we find ourselves in a more modern world, and this suits us the way we work in trying to serve humanity in any way, which way we can, whether we're lecturing or demonstrating or creating healing sessions for other people. But I just love this spiritual community of people. And once you actually truly immerse within our kind, like the non-muggling people, once we're actually truly immersed within the wizarding folk that make us up, other people don't seem as alluring or as interesting. If you're trying to hold someone that's just so earthly.
Yes.
For a moment, but there's, you think, my God, please bring me a spiritual that I might.
It's almost hard to find things to talk about sometimes, isn't it? Yeah, I find that I'm more quiet, in the earthly group settings. I'm more quiet, and in spiritual settings, I'm like yappy.
Well, you're confident, saying, aren't you? You're in your space.
Yeah.
You know about and you're respected in, so it's easy to speak our truth with amongst our own, definitely. So yeah, it's weird, really. I think we need to huddle together at times for solace. And then some way agree now we better get out there and start and see if we can awaken a few others.
But we probably come together and recharge one another. We recharge our batteries together and then say, all right, go.
Go. Yeah,
go out to the muggle.
Go get a muggle. Absolutely.
Go get some muggles today. So when you see, you must witness and see in people a medium or a connection. Do you encourage them to train, or how do you spot that? And if you do you say something to them?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think I see a lot of people, early stages of development, that I think are very talented. And it's very strange because I've made the mistake in the past by taking someone aside who I do believe has a real talent. And I've said to them, I feel you're talented. They go, thank you very much. And I feel you'll do well in the work, and that's also marvelous. And then before you know it, they've got some crazy ideas. You know, they're rushing things. They feel they've got to do all tomorrow, because I think I put that pressure on them really in some ways. And so what I tend to do, I look, of course, for ability, but I'm also looking for sincerity and longevity. And that's what you need in this work. You know?
Yes.
It's a long time to truly develop. It's not something you can do in a 10-week course.
Right.
You know, so it takes years of development. And so we have to recognize that those that we promote is the wrong word entirely, but those that we encourage and continue to, it's not always the most talented, but it's the most dedicated that I look for. And it's
okay. And you also do mentoring programs. I think they're 2-year programs. Is that right? Or
2 and 1 year. I'm just on the tail end of a 2-year USA Canada online program, and they've all become as friends. I mean, they're just gorgeous, really, really nice people. So, and I'm just, I think in January I start another USA Canada 1 year mentorship program. Which would be lovely. It's once a month on a Sunday. We do a 3-hour mammoth session online. So it's me talking, inspiration, God willing, and then thereafter. And then we speak for an hour a month. So they do homework, and then I speak to them literally an hour a month over FaceTime or Skype. And then we go through everything that they've encountered. We work through any issues whilst they've been doing a reading or a dem, whatever it may be. And I try to work with them and, you know, to move them through their blocks. Yeah,
okay.
So I love that. I like people, so it's easy to do. So.
And so they can go to your website and sign up for that now?
Yeah, they can go to the website, and that's only just become available in the last week or so. So if people don't see it on the website, be patient, and I will post that up in the next couple of days.
Okay, and so for anyone who is asking, it's TonyStockwell.com. You made it pretty easy, right?
Yeah, we're lucky to get it. That's the thing. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
The medium's called Tony Stockwell, so that was easy enough.
Oh, nice. That's really it's great. Now you also have a couple books, Spirited, The Psychic Case Files, Walking with the Angels. I know they're all available on Amazon, but The Spirited, tell us about that book.
Well, Spirited was my first book, so
that's
15 years ago almost, maybe 14 years ago. And I think I look quite cute on that cover.
It is a cute cover. He's going to show it, actually.
Well lit, I think. That's it. It's basically that one very much is my autobiography about how I got involved in spirit, and the people that trained me and helped me, and my first demonstrations, and my entry into sort of public life, in as much, you know, I got a lot of TV in a very short space of time, and got, you know, opportunities to speak to bigger groups. So it is that book, and it's also my philosophies on things, my understandings of things.
Do you feel like your philosophy has changed over the years?
This is very good question. It changes every day. I've said things today in the group that I said I didn't know yesterday, and that's it. And I think this is people don't always understand. Within the spiritual work we do, when we're in a very privileged position that people are willing to listen, then we can expand constantly on our own message. So I don't know if it makes particular sense, but the longer I talk to certain groups, the more stuff I say I didn't know I knew.
Oh, wow.
And constantly saying to groups, oh, now this is interesting. I never thought of this before. And yeah, so it's constantly evolving and lovely. So I do actually have a group that only comes to hear me talk, which is really lovely. I mean,
yeah.
And they just come to see what I can come up with this week. So, you know, that's been a nice experience. But I just think all of us are able to tap into a source of knowingness, of intelligence, that talks of eternal truths. And those eternal truths are there certainly to rescue us from ourselves and our own crazy behavior and dedication to our own physical lives.
Well, one of the things I know I really enjoyed, because I've studied with you as well. And one of the things that, well, there's many things, but two of the things in particular. One is you really encourage people to have fun with this work, to enjoy that we're working with spirit and not to make it feel so heavy all the time.
No, absolutely. And then you said a very good point, because I know for a fact that if you see a group of people working and they're enjoying what they're doing, then the energy is so much more vibrant.
Yeah.
If you let the class dead intense, you just have a lot of people sitting around going, oh, I don't know what I've got, and it's really hard, and did she, was she, had she? But when they're, not actually giggling, but just feel it's light and vibrant, it's so much easier to get wonderful things. And I've often thought that spirit people don't gather close to us to communicate on a vibration of misery.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a celebration. I think that's exactly what it is. Communication should be a celebratory thing.
Yeah, I think spirit too. At least I think they joke with us. I think they play with us. It's the same as like if you and I were going to get together at a party and have a little convo, we would laugh and giggle and point to something. And I think spirit works the same way, right? Do you agree?
Totally agree. And they love it when their entrance and their subsequent validation leaves the person, sometimes in tears, but it's a wonderful tears, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
You need spirit, someone's got that spirit, and we may cry, but it's such a release that we know we're going to see them again. It's a joyful thing.
And I think sometimes in those moments, so like the tears, I think especially in that one moment of connection, those tears are not the tears of sadness. They're the tears of like they're feeling and reliving that experience with that person again in those few moments, and it's bringing them such intensity, joy. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is fun, huh?
We have a TV show here. I don't know if you have it. It's called Long Lost Families. You may have the.
Oh yeah.
Most things either go from one side of the pond to the other.
Yes.
And it's like so you find someone who didn't know their mom and they find their mom, and I love those programs, and I love them because I enjoy getting my tissue.
Yeah.
Waiting for the moment where I'm allowed to just solve my heart. I love it. And what I love about it is those wonderful moments of reunion. Yes. And I think that the work we do is all about the reunion of souls.
Yes. Yeah.
And to find someone who looks upon you and says, I can't believe it's real. I can't believe she's here. We're rocking their world. And you do this work because we hope that on one level, we hope people live assured they will see their loved one again. But more importantly, beyond that, when they start to go home and consider, well, if mum, dad, brother, sister dwell now in another world and truly do so, they are eternal. They did not die upon death. And then, of course, for us in this world, what comes? We won't be dead either. So it almost is there is an awakening within that this life is actually vital. It's very important that we live abundantly and with fun and with joy and with service.
Yes.
And I think when you get your head around that, other stuff just feels inconsequential. Other little worries that we may have about things that may or may not happen in 20 years, they just pale into insignificance. We're living there now.
What about someone posted a question? She said, what do you do if you have a session, you have a client, but you're having trouble raising your vibration? Or do you have any recommendations as to how someone can make that connection or how they can raise that vibration?
Yes, of course. No, I get it completely. So the lady that's asking, or the person who's asking the question, is a reader, do you think?
Yes, yeah. And she's saying, hey, how do I raise my vibration if I'm not super feeling it?
Yeah, good. Now, I would suggest this. I could say all clever things about how to raise vibrations, but it's not going to be very helpful. I think that it's not working because we've become rigid in our attempts to work in a certain way that doesn't fulfill the need of the recipient. So say, for instance, I'm having a terrible blinking time because I'm trying to bring through Dad and she's not interested and I don't know honestly where the evidence is coming from and it's not very accurate. I would leave it. And then I would almost choose then to go back into the feeling of my recipient and wonder for a moment, what do you need from me? And then I may well find myself talking about her work. I will find myself talking about her spiritual progression. I will find myself talking about the mystery of that situation. And then recognize it's almost part of a dance. And sometimes we have to work from the soul to soul, work empathically, work psychically, work with guides and guardians. And then that all of those things that we do prior to the communion of souls, if you like, build the energy, gain the interest, gain the confidence of the living. So I wouldn't worry so much, but I would work more eclectically.
Okay.
Change the discipline that I'm trying to work with. And very quickly, if nothing else, I would look at my recipient and say, no, I'm having a wonderful time here, but give me a sense of how I might serve you better. And then I would ask them almost to lead me in as much, look at my work or whatever it might be. And then I would use that then to get myself back in my power.
Right. Okay. Okay, great. And you also have a center that you opened up there. It's called Soul Space. So where is it located exactly?
Just outside of London.
Oh, wow.
30 minutes on the train. And we're right by the train station. And we're 30 minutes from Liverpool Street Station, which is the city of London. And so we're well located. And it's a blessing. I'm actually in a hall that was a Jehovah's Witness hall.
Oh.
Okay. And then that was taken over by the Spiritualist Church. The Spiritualist Church then ran into some difficulties, and then I was able to approach them. And I've taken the space for 10 years. And I've had to completely gut the space and bring it up to date, but it's mine for 10 years. And so we have our groups there. I have some mentorship schemes there. I do some readings there, some Skypes there. And going forward, hopefully some interesting lectures and that kind of thing. But it's neat because it's pretty.
Yes.
It's well done, and it's literally around the corner from my children's school. So I know that it's kind of like a really weird thing to say, but it's so perfect, in as much as 10 minutes from my house, it's around the corner from school, so I can drop kids off, go work, and just find a better balance of things. So
that's nice.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It's kind of like you drop the kids off and go to the office.
Yes, Papa does a different kind of work.
That's it. That's it. I wonder what the kids must think, because now they're getting older. I wonder what they think of. Have they seen your work? Have they seen you do a connection?
No, they've never seen it ever. But that will come.
Yes.
And they say things like, where are you going? I said, I've got to go to work. And little church or big church? And what they mean is little centre or when I'm tutoring at the Arthur Finlay College, which is the big space.
Yes, so, I've been there.
And little church. And sometimes I say, I've got to fly away. I'm on an aeroplane, but you'll come home tomorrow. And they don't really get it at the moment, but it's kind of cute. We Skype a lot.
Oh, yeah, good.
I don't know what on earth they think. At the moment, they know Papa tries to help people.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all you want them to do is help people.
Do you know, it's a conversation I had with Marnie today. What will I do when I'm old, darling? It doesn't matter what you do, darling, as long as you feel you're being kind to people and people are being kind to you.
Oh, yeah. Fabulous.
Try to bring them up accordingly, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm deeply neurotic at some point, but, at the moment, we're doing okay.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good. So we're really kind of coming to an end. I mean, if you can even, I know it's been the most amazing time, hasn't it? I know, I feel that. But I am so excited that you are coming here in June, and thrilled that you're going to be teaching alongside of Fleur. And again, for anyone who doesn't know, it's the Modern Medium course. It's June 25th through the 29th. I do believe there's still some spaces, and I believe they kind of did some a la carte thing as well. So if someone wants to focus on one specific thing, they can sign up for that day.
So that's okay. Absolutely.
Yes. So that's at mediumfleur.com. And then, you and Fleur are going to do an evening of demonstrating. And that's going to be June 25th in Hollywood, California, from 7 to 9 p.m. Again, tickets, just go to mediumfleur.com. And I do want to give a shout out to Fleur. I do just appreciate all that she does. And I do consider her a friend. And she has a radio show on this network as well called Heart of Spirit Radio. So I do want to kind of give her a shout out for people to tune in. But Tony, I really want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you being here today with us.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for your time, and God bless. Thank you, darling.
All right. Have a great night. Have a little cocktail, and I'll see you in June.